Let's get ready to story!
All right. Zach Stevens, the young man in the glasses. Come on up, Zach Stevens.
Zach, remember that time you and me were up the gorge?
Okay, so this is my first time at a StorySlam and my first time doing a StorySlam. And my first time telling this story outside of a few backyard barbecues and drunk nights in college. So it's my second semester at the Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken, New Jersey. And it's at this point I've decided that I'm going to drop out and become an English major. I was studying computer engineering. And I meet this incredible kid. His name's Nick Hernandez. He's one of my best friends. And around this time, he's putting together EPs for his band Community with plastic cement and a box cutter. And we're having this great conversation about how his band is really they're gonna do it this summer. They're gonna go out on tour. And it just so happens to come up in conversation that I drive a blue 2003 Ford Windstar wagon, which is a minivan. And he's like, dude, you've got a van, do you want to come on tour with us? So fast forward to July, I'm in my van with Nick, his friend Pablo, Brandon, who was the drummer, and their gay Filipino friend Greg, who played tambourine. And we're on our way to Philadelphia to play at this aspiring emo venue called the Cabana House, which, as it turns out, is a seedy ground floor apartment. So us sort of four privileged-looking white kids end up in this parking lot behind these apartments. The house next door has a dog in a fenced-in yard. The yard's about the size of someone's kitchen. And it hasn't been cleaned, so it smells awful. The dog's barking at us as we're loading in. This guy who organized the show, Nick Stutzman, is frantically looking for a PA. So while he's trying to find the PA for this show that he organized, we end up in the living room with two bands from Wisconsin and their followers. So we're in this living room with the members of Alta and Arizona Wilder and a kid named Cody Dean. And the name of the story is Cody Dean, now that I'm already well into it. And Cody Dean, the first thing he does is he struggles to get out of his sweatshirt and he puts on his denim jacket and he's about to go outside and he pauses and says, yo, real talk, any of you guys smoke cigs? And so we kind of sneak some furtive glances at each other and then to Cody Dean and shake our heads because it's kind of unfortunate that we can't offer him some hospitality. And he leaves. Only to come back a few minutes later and we hear his voice over the din. Yo, so I don't know if you ever seen a kid on Computer Duster, but you don't just roll into a party high on dust, man. You just you go to the party for a while and then that's when you start the dust. I saw a kid high on duster once wrap his car around a telephone pole and just get up and walk out. And he just maintains this nasally voice, and I'm like, he's gotta be kidding, this can't be his real voice. And he introduces himself, he's like, yo guys, my name's Cody, I front this band in Wisconsin, it's a metalcore band. You should check it out, it's not a great band, and I just do these whiny bitch vocals. And I'm like, cool, whatever gets you there. And so he picks back up on his duster story and he's like, I crashed a car once in a ditch. See, because my friend, he didn't have a license at the time, but he had this cop car that he got from auction. And he goes on the Blues Brothers thing, he's like, yeah, it's got cop suspension and cop tires and a cop motor. It's so fast. And he gets to telling us the story where his friend without the driver's license is driving the car. He's in the back drinking. Their only friend with the valid driver's license is also drinking. And they're driving in a police auction car on the back roads of Wisconsin in the middle of winter. So he gets to telling us, yeah, so we're in the snow, we're a little bored, pound some brews back, and we decide that we're gonna do some donuts, get it sideways. And they roll the car off of an exit ramp into a ditch. And he's like, okay, so the car is rolling, right? And I pause for a second to make sure everyone's okay, and everyone's fine because we have like the reinforced roof, but I'm bleeding a little bit, it's not bad. And then all of a sudden the car rolls again, and there's like beer and blood and like broken glass. And we just get up and walk out of the car. Of course, we gotta leave it there because it's in the ditch. And so, like, I get back to my friend's house and there's a party going on, polish off a case, smoke some spice, get laid, and he wraps up the story with the greatest thing I've ever heard somebody say in reference to real life events. It was fucking metal. And we're all aghast that these things could really happen. And in of all places, Wisconsin, which is apparently so boring that kids have to do computer duster to have a good time. But he's not done yet. It's the next day, and Cody Dean is sitting in his house with his friends, presumably going over how well this night went, because it was metal. And so he says, yeah, so I remember that I'm supposed to go to the mall the next day, because my mom was gonna buy me Levi's. So he calls his mom on the phone. He's like, yo, Mom, we just flipped a cop car. And she's like, yo, you're fucking with me, Tony? And he's like, nah, Mom, I'm not fucking with you. We flipped a car. And she's like, you're fucking with me, Tony? Nah, Mom, yeah, I'm fucking with you. You still gonna buy me those Levi's? And she's like, yeah, Tony, I'm buying you Levi's. He hangs up the phone. He gets a knock on the door. And it's the police. And they're like, listen, we have a car registered to your friend. It's in a ditch, and you just left it there. If it hadn't had the reinforced roof, you all would have died. And I never would have met Cody Dean. And it just goes to show that in some of the seediest, most miserable places, you meet some of the most interesting and absurdly beautiful people. Thank you.